Hi, my name's Stewart Bell. I'm the producer of The Inside Line. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much for all your support of our channel. There's a dedicated team behind it who work tirelessly each week to bring you the latest in Formula One, and we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. We hope you enjoy this interview with Juan Manuel Correa, who is making great progress in his recovery from his injury sustained at last year's Belgian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, during the interview, the internet connection wasn't that great, so the footage is not the best it could be in some parts, so we apologise for that, but the story is certainly there, so we hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Juan Manuel Correa, thanks for speaking with the Inside Line.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you for having me.
We've obviously seen on your Instagram feed all your fantastic updates, and it looks like you've made some pretty impressive strides forward in your progress. Can you tell me a little bit about your recent milestones in terms of your recovery?
Yeah, I mean, the recovery has been overall going quite well. There has always been this feeling of uncertainty from me and from the doctors, because my injuries were so complex that there was really many things that could have gone wrong throughout the recovery process, and it could have prolonged the whole process as well. But so far, really so good. You know, it's been as good as I hoped it to be going. The progress has been faster than what the doctors anticipated as well. That was something that I was quite sure I could do, but it's still nice to do it, you know. Yeah, you know, it's definitely been a hard process. Don't get me wrong. It's a very painful and excruciating process, but it is what it is, and I'm motivated, and I think that really helps to cope with all this.
Sure, and in addition to all the physical side of your recovery, obviously there's the mental as well. Given you were conscious all the way through your accident, and obviously the sad loss of your friend Antoine Hubert. Can you tell me a little bit about the mental battle and how you've used that to move forward with your recovery?
Yeah, I think mentally has been just as challenging, if not more challenging than physically. You know, I get this question a lot. How did I cope with it? How am I doing so well? And I don't have a real clear answer. It's difficult to tell. You know, the only thing I can tell you is that it's not all fun and games and positivity like it may seem from the outside. You know, there's definitely been some very rough times. I've had times where I feel very down and, you know, depressed, and, you know, I guess that's normal, but it's maybe something people don't see from the outside, and I think it's important that they know. But on the other hand, I think overall I have coped well with it, and kind of my mentality from day one in the hospital was just like, okay, this is my reality now. Nothing's gonna really change it. So I can either, you know, just be miserable and you know, get depressed and just not do anything about this and let this ruin my life in a way, or I can just get on with it and make the best out of it, which is kind of the positivity I even had before on life, which is always get the best of whatever you have. So I took that route, and it has been hard, but I tried to keep positive. And to be fair, it's very crazy for me to think that the accident already happened, I think, over 8 months ago. So, because it doesn't feel like that long, you know, and I think that just shows that when you're busy doing something, when you're motivated, time kind of flies in a way. So that's good. That's
great. It's great to see you making the progress. Does it feel to you, I mean, obviously, you know, you were in a coma for a few weeks, you lost 6 to 7 centimeters of your tibia in your right leg, all these sort of, you know, setbacks, but does it feel to you like, as you've said, the doctors you've recovered faster than the doctor's prognosis? Does it feel to you like you've made quantum leaps forward?
Yeah. Actually, it was 9 to 10 centimeters. We did the calculations the other day. It's more than we done. But yeah, you know, definitely. I think sometimes I don't realize, because I am in the day-to-day, you know, of my recovery. So I see the little steps every day that don't seem like much. but definitely sometimes, like just yesterday, I stood up. I was able to put on flip-flops on both of my feet, so they were like even height. And I stood up and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, my back was straight, I was standing like a normal person. And that hit me because I was like, wow, this is the first time I see myself in the mirror standing on 2 feet, putting weight through 2 feet and looking decently normal. So I was like, yeah, that maybe 2 months ago was unthinkable for me. So definitely there is progress. But at the same time, I'm a very ambitious person, and I always want more and more and more. So I just have to take care of that and make sure I don't push myself too hard and maybe make something counterproductive with my recovery. And I just need the patience.
How is your history of being, driver training and that sort of thing, that mentality of pushing forward, how has that helped you in your recovery?
Oh, massively. For me, before the accident, I wasn't a stranger to doing, 6 to 7, 8 hours of training per day when I was on training camp. It's not the same as therapy. Therapy is more painful than training, definitely. But, that mentality of just get it done. And even when you don't feel like it, that has been a huge help, and I can tell because many of the people I have been doing the rehab with, they're very surprised by my work ethic in a way. And they're like, how are you so motivated? And I said, for me, this is normal. I actually enjoy coming here and sweating my ass off. And the pain I don't enjoy so much, but it's just part of the process. So definitely. And also my physical capacity from before the crash, is not a secret that I would have probably passed away if I wasn't in such good physical shape in the moment of the crash and after, with all the complications I had in my lungs. And that same thing has also helped in the recovery in a way because, I think when I arrived to Miami, I had probably lost 10 to 15 kilos, maybe even more than before. And in a matter of, less than a month, I had gained probably 60 to 70% of my muscle back. Which is crazy, but that's just the muscle memory and all the things, and that has really made the whole process quicker for me.
How important have family and friends been in terms of their support, in terms of the recovery, and also perhaps the fans as well?
Yeah, everyone has played a huge role. I would say the biggest role has been my family, obviously. My parents were with me in the hospitals throughout the whole process, so they were actually in the race. And they stayed with me until we came back here a few months later. So they have really been crucial for everything. My siblings as well, they're here. It has been a bit strange to get incorporated back into family life, after more than 6 years that I hadn't been living here, to come back and be so dependent on my family once again and get used to family life has been strange and it has been hard, but I'm definitely enjoying it. And then my friends, of course, they have been a huge role in all of this, especially here in Miami, in all these months, because in a way I try to keep my life as normal as possible, obviously before the COVID crisis, but I was trying to go out every once in a while, go to dinner, see some friends, just to keep myself entertained and, keep myself well mentally. So that's been a big part. And as well, the fans, like you said, the support worldwide from people, from my home country in Ecuador, the support has been huge. From here, from Miami, and, from Australia, from the UK, from countries that have no link to me whatsoever. And I get some messages up to this day, like, I get maybe 50 messages daily, which is crazy to me to think about that. And many of the messages are very deep. And, I have people that have had similar injuries to me that share with me their x-rays, their whole processes, which is really moving, and it helps a lot. So I think everything has played a big role in my recovery. Yeah.
It's great that you've got that surrounding you and that positive energy moving forward. What's the roadmap like from here? Obviously, it's a moving target, and you take each day by day. But in terms of getting back to Formula 2, that's your target. How do you see that playing out from here?
Yeah, for now, the recovery, like I said, it's hard to put a timeline on it. My best guess would be that in around a year or so, I could possibly be ready to drive again. Because I still have quite a lot of surgeries to go. There's some, it looks like I have the ligaments in the knee that I need to get more surgeries. My ankle is still, it's hard to tell how much more it will recover, stuff like this. But yeah, ideal scenario would probably be in a year to be ready, or maybe even a bit earlier in order to be ready for the 2021 season. That would be amazing. But yeah, like I said, I know that eventually I will be able to drive any racing car again. I think I will have the capacities physically to do it, maybe with a bit of getting used to the throttle or something, but there's a way for everything. I definitely hope it'll be for next season, but if that's not the case, I will have to wait one more season and then use the rest of next year for testing or something like that. So I don't know, but I'm coming back at some point.
In terms of your old team and the Formula 2 and Formula 1 paddock, have you had many people contacting you? Have they been keeping tabs on your development? For example, have you spoken with someone like Robert Kubica, who had not a similar accident, but trauma as well?
Yeah, there has been many people from the paddock, from the teams that have been in contact with me. Mainly people that were close to me already before. But also I've made some new friendships, actually, which has been quite cool. Many drivers, especially, I want to say a big shout out to my two teams, so Alfa Romeo Racing and also Charouz, my F2 team, because both of them have been, their support has been monumental. It has been incredible. I had many people from both teams go even visit me at the hospital. And there has never been a time when I haven't felt like they're waiting for me with open arms. They have been very clear that as soon as I'm ready to get back in a car, that they will be waiting for me, and that's very encouraging, definitely. So yeah, I think that the whole motorsport community is a big family in a way, and that has been a huge help as well.
Obviously, COVID-19 has dominated the recent months. What's your experience been like over the past few months? You've obviously been sort of making progress, but what have you been doing generally?
Yeah, for me, actually, this pandemic didn't change much of my lifestyle in a way, because I was already spending a lot of time at home. The only thing that really changed for me was obviously couldn't see more friends. And I had to start doing my therapy at home. So I have to bring my therapist here. Now it's slowly starting to go a bit back to normal-ish. So I'm starting to go to the therapy a few times a week with mask and everything. But I think what really changed was all this sim racing that has been going on. So I have a sim here at home, and I am able to drive the sim using only the left leg. So I have been taking part in many of these sim races, which has been very cool. And it's cool because, I'm keeping myself just as relevant as any other driver out there. And in reality, I should be missing a season right now. So in a way, this pandemic has been a positive thing for me. I don't want to say it's been a positive thing. Obviously, I wouldn't wish this to happen ever again. But like I said, I always see the glass half empty and half full. So it's just giving me a bit more time to recover. So that's good.
This week marks 50 years of Sauber Motorsport. It's obviously a team and family you know very well. Can you tell me what it's like being part of that family and your thoughts on that milestone?
Yeah, I didn't know. And I'm gonna congratulate them now. Yeah, the team is very, very cool. I was very pleasantly surprised the first time I got kind of integrated into the family. But just how close the whole team is, it's obviously a bit because it's not one of the biggest teams. So they have, I think, nearly half the people that, for example, Mercedes has. But we're still talking about nearly 500 people working in there. And considering how big of a company it is in that sense, it's really like a family. It's crazy. And it goes all the way from the big bosses to the mechanics to, the people that clean the place. So, no, it's really cool, really cool. And I did my test with them in the Formula One car just a week before my crash. And that was the first time I really got to work with them. And the quality of the people is exceptional. It's still one of the best experiences I've had in my life. Definitely the nicest driving experience I've had. And yeah, I just really hope that there is a place for me with them in the future. That would be a dream.
Massive news this week, obviously, with Sebastian Vettel announcing he will leave Ferrari at the end of the season, with colour signs literally this, tonight for us, that he will replace him. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about Sainz, to be honest. I'm very happy for him, but I did not see that coming. Obviously, the last few days I saw it coming because everyone was talking about it, but if you would have asked me a week ago, I wouldn't have put him as a favorite for that seat. Now thinking about it, it's actually quite a clever choice from Ferrari because it's clear that Leclerc is their future. That's how they think. And it wouldn't be too smart to put two number one drivers in a way to butt heads in there. So I think, what they want from Carlos is just for him to be a good team player. Obviously, Carlos, though, on the other hand, I know him a bit, and he will be looking to go there and kick Leclerc's ass, basically. So it will be interesting. It will be very interesting to see what happens. And it seems like Ricciardo is going to McLaren as well, so that will be very interesting as well. I think the team will continue to be fun with him and Lando. And what really excites me the most is not those two teams, because that's kind of done deal, but it's who's going to replace Ricciardo at Renault and what that means, because the F1 market is so tightly knit that one shift causes sometimes the whole thing to change, and that sometimes gives opportunities to rookies to go into the category for the first time. And that for me is very exciting to see. That for me, that's the best that can happen, because obviously me being one of those rookies, you like to see young people get opportunities. So we'll see if one of the guys from F2 goes up or what happens.
Finally, obviously you live in Miami, where they hope to one day hold a Grand Prix at the Hard Rock Stadium. There's been a lot of community sort of opposition to that race being held there. What in terms of on the ground, what's it like there at the moment?
I cannot help but shake my head. I cannot believe that people are opposing to it, to be honest. Just to give you a bit of perspective, the area where they want to do the race near the Hard Rock Stadium, it's a very far away area from the city. I don't think it would really cause any troubles logistically. That's why they're thinking of doing it there. I mean, they have a stadium there, so it's nothing different than any event that they have at the stadium. The people are complaining about the noise. That's why they're opposing it. But what they don't realize is that if they do the race there, probably their real estate will go up. So I don't know what they're thinking. I really hope that they can get it together and let the race happen, because obviously for me it would be a home race. It would be very cool. And I think, Miami is a very international city, and I think the amount of people of new people that will go watch the race and become fans of the sport is going to be huge. So it's very important for F1 to do it here as well.
Juan Manuel Correa, thanks very much for your time.
No problem, Stewart. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.